Hello, everybody. Welcome to He Say, She Say. This is your man, Mark, alongside.
Hello, guys. This is Tiana. How are you guys?
All right, real quick, we appreciate you tuning in, those that chose to do so. We're going to give you a quick description of what this show is about. We didn't want to be put in a box, hence the name He Say, She Say. So, what we're going to do is every week we're going to talk about things that come up and that we find interesting. And I'm going to try to offer the male perspective, and Tiana is going to offer the female perspective.
First, I want to say, how are you doing tonight, Mark?
Wonderful, can't you tell?
Oh, Lord. I really can't.
You can tell about the voice. Usually the inflection.
You sounding real confident.
Don't I look confident?
You're right.
All right. So, according to your girl, Tiana, we decided to come out the box just swinging. So tonight, we're gonna talk about why so many black women are single.
Dun, 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 dun.
And I don't think that you'll get any answers. And the show only has so much time, and this is definitely a circular argument, which really leads nowhere. But we're gonna attempt to have some fun with it. There is a phone line you guys can call in if you feel free. If you really feel the spirit moves you and you need to talk to Tiana, I'm sure she'll talk you through whatever ails you. So before we do that, there's some things that went on in the news this week that we feel that the need to discuss.
First, you want to give them the phone number just in case you want to call out?
You can do that.
Okay. If you do decide that you want to talk to Mark and I, the phone number is 301 278 1293. Again, that number is 301 278 1293.
And every time Tiana gives you the number to call in this week, I think she'll be trying to cop a feel in between. If you know, I don't know if you guys noticed how she just reached across and tapped each. That's how they check you out, fellas.
Whatever.
Anyway, this week, something happened a couple of days ago. What's her name? Corinne Gaines? Corinne Gaines was killed by the Baltimore County SWAT team. Now, this amongst the spate of other killings by police, it's kind of, I don't know exactly how to feel about this.
This particular situation, first of all, I don't think there's enough information out yet for everybody to make a true informed opinion. I know my opinion may be a little insensitive. I honestly believe she led to her own demise. I believe that she could have handled that much, much better considering she had children in the situation. It's a sad situation, but I really believe it could have been avoided.
Okay, that I do agree with you on. Now, I do agree with you again on we shouldn't rush to judgment. And I think we need to be careful and not lump this in with the other killings.
Right.
Because she definitely wasn't unarmed. And
she was ready.
And she was what?
She was ready. It was almost like she was ready for battle.
Well, I did a lot of because it's still very unclear. So I looked at the press conference given by the police chief. I watched there's a video on YouTube, or you may have seen it, with the traffic stop that happened in March.
Mm-hmm.
And I was shocked then as how she was instructing her kid to behave, how she was telling them, we're not, if they come, you better fight. It was really a misdemeanor. And she seemed at that point
angry.
That she was angry, yes. And where the anger come from, I think we all have somewhat of the same anger. But at that point, she said she was ready to die. And she wasn't scared. So I want to stop short of calling her crazy, only because people do that very often. I usually don't like to do that to diminish people. I can't say that someone's crazy unless they've been clinically diagnosed or unless I look into their eyes, because you can somewhat tell when someone is crazed. But the fact that she had a shotgun and was holding it to them, and she asked her son what they're gonna do, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
That's not exactly textbook parenting. And now that he's supposedly he survived, right? Is that correct? Okay.
They actually have footage of, I guess, the sister of Corinne. Actually, they're recording him in the hospital, giving his statement or explaining what happened. And even listening to the 5 year old, he still seemed unclear to me when she was asking the questions. It felt like the sister, whoever she was asking questions, was kind of leading him into answering it the way she wanted to hear it. Another thing that I want to touch on, reading comments from other people. A lot of people want to claim that the girl has some type of mental issue. And don't get me wrong, I know there's a lot of mental issues within the black community, but I don't think this girl had a mental issue. I think she was angry. I believe that she probably had run ins with the law before.
Several.
The state of the state that the situation that Baltimore is in alone, it seems like all young black people are on high alert. They're all angry. They all want to fight the police for whatever reason. So I don't think she had a mental problem. I think she was very clear on how she felt. I think she was angry. I think she was upset. And I think she was just done. And I think there are a lot of people out right now that they're just ready to go to war with the police.
Okay, I'm glad you touched on that because when that happened and I started watching the video, especially the video of the traffic stop, I I'm not surprised, and I don't think that this will be the end of it. I think there'll be several more incidents like this because I think the policies of our justice system or legal system, whatever you want to call it, has created this monster. Mm-hmm. Just as our foreign policy created groups like Al Qaeda and ISIS. Mm-hmm. I mean, so if we fast forward, if we can attempt to do that with that 5-year-old, with a 5-year-old son, what is he going to grow up to think or believe? He witnessed his mother get murdered. He's going to have those, the words that she constantly told him at 5, and he was reciting back to her in the back seat. I mean, is he going to be a friend of the police? Probably not. And when you have people, because where these incidents tend to happen is in the marginalized parts, right? And when you push people to the margins, they have nothing to lose. So the type of warfare that they're going to fight is the same type that ISIS and Al Qaeda fight. It's going to be a guerrilla warfare. So it's not going to be, which the other side or the conservatives like to blame everything with Black Lives Matter. No, I mean Black Lives Matter isn't really a group anyway. So it's not going to be a gang or people who come together to do this type of work or will you be able to see them? It's going to be one person. That's all it takes. Take out 1 or 2 cops and then want to be a martyr.
I was just about to say that. I think that a lot of young people want to be martyrs right now. It's like they're willing to die for this Black Lives movement. I think that to me that's what I felt like she was doing.
I think they're willing to die. I don't think it's for the movement. I mean, think about it. I mean, they have run-ins with the police regularly, whether or not they know someone that got killed, got beaten, got unjustifiably put in jail. You know, these homes been wrecked. They've seen it. I think now that you're seeing the imagery in the last year and a half so often brings it home to let them know it's not just their communities. Because people who usually live in or come from abject poverty, their worlds are as big as their community.
Correct.
So now that you're seeing that this is a thing that goes around the world, think about it. And this is not to make light of it, but dudes live their lives anyway, sometimes just so they can end up on a in memory of t-shirt. I mean, what better reason?
Right.
Right? They don't have shit to live for. Most of them don't expect to make it to 25.
Well, they believe that they don't have shit to live for.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Thank you for the clarification. But yeah. So I'm gonna reserve judgment, as I think you guys should too. Having said that, if at all possible, we're gonna go to break, and when we come back, speaking of crazy women, we'll talk about why are so many Black women single,
which is false.
All right, we're back. Like I said before we went to break, Tiana is going to lead us into the discussion of the night, which is why are so many Black women single?
Which I believe is false. I actually don't believe that there are that many women single as you believe. I mean, because if that's the case, then men are just as single.
I don't think you can make that extrapolation. But go ahead.
I mean, then who? I mean, you would have to be in a relationship with somebody not to be considered single, correct?
I
And if
mean, there's
women
all
are
types
in
of.
relationships with themselves,
They can be with other women.
also, is that where we're going? I mean, that is that where are we
We're
going
gonna
at?
go wherever you want to lead this
Well, I
because
wasn't
I'm not
really,
a black woman,
I
so
wasn't ready to go. See, I don't really understand. No offense to anybody out there, but I don't understand the homosexual thing,
hmm
so I can't speak from it.
Okay, hold on. This I think is a good time to do this.
Okay.
Before we go any further, I'm gonna make a disclaimer, and I don't actually believe I should have to, but we're gonna do this anyway. There will be generalizations made.
Mm-hmm.
Please do not hold that against us. If it's not you, it's not you. And if you have a problem with it, pick up the phone, call in, say what you have to say, then I'll hang up on you. Okay? But I'm not every time we're not gonna say some but not most but not all. I mean, we're speaking in general terms. So go ahead, Tiana.
Hence the show, he say, she say.
And if you want to call, the telephone number is 301-278-1293. And notice how I did that without touching Tiana one time.
Whatever.
Go ahead, Tiana. I'm sorry.
Mark just wants me to touch him. So I guess some of the subtopics that I told Mark that we can talk about were based off education, money, infidelity, because y'all know men cheat.
Alone.
Sexuality and self-esteem. What do you mean cheat alone?
Apparently we're not cheating with women, right?
I mean, you're cheating. You're cheating.
I didn't want to get you off your thing. Go ahead,
No,
sweetheart.
you're cheating with single women.
You sure?
Are you cheating with single women? I don't know, Mark.
Speak to someone who cheats. Go ahead, finish your list.
Finish
your list. Your list.
And self-esteem.
Okay.
I think self-esteem plays a big part on why women are still single. Mm-hmm. It could have anything to do with how you look, how you feel about yourself, your body type, where you live, your family. So self-esteem plays a big, big role on why women, in Mark's opinion, are still single.
I don't.
You don't have an opinion.
I don't. Okay, look, no, I do, and I'm gonna reserve that. But go ahead, you can. I would like for the woman to speak.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't. I don't. I'm sorry. Just keep going. Just keep going.
So one of the things I actually had found some actually pretty good information on the ratio of marriages, and I don't believe women are as single as Mark thinks they are. I'm gonna keep saying that because he's the reason why we're actually talking about this subject. So based on the Census Bureau, compared between female and male, Black Americans, African Americans, people of color, whatever you want to call it, now married. 28% of women are now married. 35% of males are now married. So yes, based off the Census Bureau, there are more men that are married than women, which is weird to me because who are they marrying? Are they marrying themselves? Why? How can the number be higher? Which is something that I've not been able to understand.
Well, the sample size is larger for women. It's more women than men.
Okay.
So that's gonna affect the percentages. Okay. And then I think according to the numbers that you gave, there's a slight, not as large disparity as we like to believe of interracial marriage as well, right?
Let's see. Oh, here we go. Black men who marry. This is actually pretty good. 86% of Black men actually marry a Black woman, which is surprising because I actually thought the number was much, much lower than that. 7% have a white spouse, and 4% have a Hispanic spouse, and 3% is other. For Black women who marry Black men, the number is 94%. I am not shocked because Black women, we don't give up on our Black men as Black men have given up on us.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Well, how did that?
I think that's why. Honestly,
where did you get that from? How did you get that out the numbers? Just say that's your opinion.
That was my, of course.
That's your opinion. Okay. So then put the numbers down since you're gonna go off of your opinion.
No, we're talking about the numbers, but my opinion is based off of the number.
The difference is 8%.
It don't matter.
But 86 and 94, the difference is 8.
It's still 8% of y'all that gave up.
Yeah.
on Black women.
Hey, ain't nobody give up yet, man.
You didn't give up.
Huh?
You haven't given up.
Black men haven't given up on y'all.
You don't think so? I think
No.
so. Based off the Census Bureau, they did.
I'm sorry. Are this the same numbers you just discussed?
94% Black women who marry Black men. 94%.
Right.
Black men is only 86%.
Did you say only?
Mm-hmm.
Only 86%.
Only 86%.
It's 94.
Uh-huh.
So you got a pretty much a high B to a middling A, right? That's one extra credit project.
You're looking at an A and a B.
Okay. Anyway, let's talk about your reasons why you think it is the way you say it is.
As far as that Black men have given up on white women.
Yes, we have given up on white women. The numbers the reasons that you said so many Black women that you believe that Black women are single. Mm-hmm. The ones you brought, you can put the numbers down now. Okay. I want to hear your opinion.
I just think that Black women are more committed to the Black man. I think that we support you all, even though sometimes you don't believe we do. I think there's far more women out there taking care of Black men. Yeah, that's kind of where my brain is going right
now. Okay. But you did have some topics that you had broken down that I thought we were going to discuss, like
as far as education.
Right. Because I mean, not to make light of it, this situation, but Black women are highly educated, right? Is that what you put? Is that why you put education?
Among Black women, 70% of college graduates are married by 40.
Okay.
Whereas only about 60% of high school graduates are married. So basically, they're saying there are more. Education actually makes you a better
candidate.
Gives you better options to be married, right?
Okay.
Versus someone with a high school education.
Okay.
So I don't think education is the issue as to why women are single, because they're saying this based off these numbers that women with degrees are actually married far more than women without.
So what are the issues? So let's skip the numbers because you've manipulated them incorrectly already. So like, what are the reasons that you feel like that's a problem within our community?
I don't think it's an issue, honestly.
Amongst your friends, your peer group, is it a problem? Is it representative of those numbers, or is it representative of what you see?
Most of my, including myself, most of my girlfriends are single. Okay. But the men that they're dating, they're single too. I mean, you have single people dating. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand why there should be a question whether or not why women are still single, when I believe there's just as many men.
I don't believe the question was women are still single. Why are so many are single though, right?
But I think there are so many men that are single as well.
Okay. I don't know how to do this.
Well, you get me. Why do you feel like
I don't? Okay, I'm gonna make another disclaimer here, and you guys are gonna get to know me. I don't think we can ever compare men and women, so I'm trying to stay away from that. It's not the same thing. It's not the same ballpark. So, because most men are single because they want to be single.
Nowadays, most women are single because they want to be single as
well. Well, what else can they say?
What do you mean? What else can they say? So you think women are saying it just because men are saying
it? I think they're making the best out of the situation and saying they want to be single.
I think a lot of people don't want to be tied down by commitment. I think nowadays people enjoy their freedom. I think people just don't want to.
They weren't. I don't believe they were ever slaves.
Freedom as far as the freedom of not having to answer to anybody in a relationship, not having the responsibility of having to come home, you're supposed to come home, or the responsibility of having to take care of somebody else or be accountable for someone else.
But for how long?
I think till about the 30s is when it gets old. You know, even for me, I can honestly say I did not think about marriage until I hit about 30, 31 years old.
How old are you now?
I'm 35.
Okay.
So even for me,
is that a goal of yours to get married?
It is.
Okay.
And it's definitely a goal. It's a goal, and to still have children.
Why? Okay. Is that the reason why you want to do it that way, to have kids?
I prefer to be married first.
Okay.
I've never really. Again, I think I used to stop throwing out disclaimers, but I make sure I want to offend anybody. Part of the reason why I have remained childless is because I don't have a husband. I have no desire to raise a child as a single parent. I don't even have a desire to be a co-parent, even though I see more and more people co-parenting nowadays, and they're doing a pretty good job of it. Because there was a time back in the 60s, 70s, 80s where the men were completely absent from the home altogether. But I will say that there are far more men nowadays that's really taking great responsibility and taking care of their children. So you see a lot of co-parenting going on right now. I personally don't have a desire to be a co-parent. I don't really want my children sleeping at two different homes. That's just for me. I think it's a lot on the kids to have to pack their bags up every 2 and 3 days and go sleep at mom's house and then pack their bags up and go sleep at dad's house. I personally believe that's a lot of stress on the child, but you have to do what you have to do to make it work. And if it allows the father to be connected to their children, then more power to you.
Okay, so if you will, I'd like to run down this list of topics that you have just to see if we can address them real quick.
Okay.
Number one, education. That's a problem, right?
We just said it wasn't a problem because we just said that there are more.
Okay, the numbers are great. Now let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about your reality.
But why is education an issue though?
I don't know. It wouldn't be my issue. I'm asking you. For women, is there, because I mean, I meet in my daily travels a lot of highly educated women and women who are going back to get more. And in a lot of cases, not all, they're being compensated along with their education.
Okay, I can see
And
that.
men are not as highly educated. I don't want these to be my issues because
I can
I
kind
don't
of
know that
see
they're
where
issues,
you're
but you,
going with
yeah,
that.
I just want to expound upon them a little
There
bit.
there was a time I could say probably in my late 20s, my first couple years in my 30s that I will say that I used to tell myself it's hard to balance a relationship as well as a career. I don't think women can do both.
Why?
I don't. If you're speaking from my own, just to give an example, I remember when I was in a relationship, a long relationship, and he had issues with me going back to school because me going to school in the evenings kept me away from him. He saw me less and less because I wanted to focus on my education. And I'm gonna be honest, that kind of caused me to put my education on hold because it bothered him. I will say I did make that decision early on in my 20s. Because it's hard. If you're constantly focusing on your education, you're constantly focusing on your career, you can't really have time to spend with your kids. You can't really have time to spend with your husband, your spouse, or your boyfriend. So not that education is a bad thing, but I can see where it would become a problem in a relationship, or I can see where it become a problem for women to get into relationships. Because I mean, to have an education, you gotta focus. You gotta focus on getting that degree. It's a lot of homework you gotta do. It's a lot of class time you have to do. It's a lot of meetings. So it's a lot to get, especially nowadays because you have grown ups that are going back to work. They're trying to juggle going back to school and work at the same time.
Okay.
So I can see where it could be an issue.
All right. Let's move on to the next one then that you have listed. Money, income.
Oh no, you
How
tell
does that
me.
present itself as a problem?
Um, I don't think it's a problem. These are just things that could be factors. I don't think it's a problem. I don't want you to call it a problem. It's just a factor. It's just something that could cause a woman to be single. Um,
So how can money cause you to be single as a woman?
you have a lot of women out there who make a lot of money and they also want a man that make the same type of money.
What's a lot of money?
I don't know. Let's say a lawyer dating a garbage man.
Okay.
As far as salaries, you're not going to see too many lawyers dating garbage men. I would date a garbage man because I don't have a lawyer type salary. So I know how to stay within my lane. But there are a lot of women who believe that they need a man who makes more money than them.
It's because of social conditioning.
I don't know. Is that what you think it is?
Other than that, it doesn't make any sense.
Why doesn't it?
If you make, okay, so garbage men make a decent wage.
And it's just an example.
Yeah, I know, but
Okay.
let's just play with it for a little bit. So, let's give a number to this woman. How much money she make? This lawyer, this high-powered lawyer woman.
She made $250,000.
Jeez. Okay. Well.
You said high power.
No. That's good. That's a good number. So what? She's in the top 1% of the country, right?
1% high power.
Okay, so let's say
Olivia Pope.
Between him being a garbage man and having his pension, his benefits or whatever, he make a little bit over $50,000.
Okay.
Between the two of them, they make $300,000. They're doing better than 99% of the country. What's the problem?
The problem is she's the head of the household.
No, she's not. She's not the head of the household. And there's nothing she can do to be the head of the household.
She's the head of the household.
The taxes ain't gonna say nothing but that she is missing such and such. And I don't care how much she makes. She gonna take my last name too.
Mrs. and Mr. You gonna say her name first?
You got to be kidding me. Are we joking? Or are we serious? No.
I'm joking.
Right? No. Let's joke. Because I got some jokes too.
I'm joking.
No,
I really am joking.
So what's the problem? You're gonna let this is where I have a major disconnect with women that think like this. You're gonna let your happiness be dictated by what other people might think. Or listen, because of course they're never gonna cop to that. You're gonna let your determination of what this man is or what a man is be determined by how much he makes or what he does for a living.
That's because we've been conditioned to believe that, though.
You've been conditioned to believe a lot of things.
To believe that men are the breadwinners. Men fry up. What's the saying? Men go out to kill, hunt, and then they bring it back and we fry it up with some crap.
Well, half of y'all can't even cook, so y'all don't believe that.
That's a whole nother.
Y'all don't believe that.
I agree with that.
You can't believe that because if she made $250,000, she's
not cooking.
I doubt she ain't cooking.
She ain't cooking.
I doubt she's cooking.
I mean, I got girlfriends that make $50,000 and don't cook.
Well,
you know what I mean. So
well, that would not. That does not. What? Hey, ladies, what are y'all thinking
when
you decide not to cook?
Should not be a factor on not having a man.
What do you mean?
Because most men are cooking nowadays. Most men don't mind cooking. So just like you just said that money should not be a factor, cooking shouldn't be a factor either.
Why should cooking not be a factor?
Because as long as somebody eating, who cares?
So okay. Let's decide. Let's
he
pretend.
He only made $50,000. His ass need to be home cooking something.
Let's pretend we have kids together.
Shit, $50,000 and she making $250,000. What is he doing?
He's working.
He's working.
He get up every day. He's working. That's physical labor.
Okay, so he can still come home.
I'm sure there's plenty of stuff to do. So hold on.
Trash don't get picked up.
So we're gonna have some kids. Let me play this scenario out. We gonna have some kids together. Mm-hmm. So what the kids gonna eat? Fish sticks and cut up hot dogs?
I don't know. What is the daddy cooking?
No. Let me tell you something, ladies. If you don't cook, there's a problem. You can say anything.
Nobody go to school and get 5 degrees, make $250,000 a year to cook in the kitchen.
If you went to school, you're educated now, right? You're smart. I believe I'm gonna make this connection. I would believe that means you can read. They make cookbooks.
I believe you.
Right? Take a book since you love them so much, open it up, and play with the damn fridge. Play with the stove. Learn to bake.
Why can't he cook?
He can cook. There's nothing wrong with a man cooking.
Then what's the argument?
If the woman, let me tell you something. Between men, we don't brag about what our wife does for a living. Too often.
There's some that do.
It doesn't benefit me all that much. So.
Yeah, there's some that do.
I mean, I'm glad she has a great job. I'm glad she would wear my last name. But if you work in a space, right? If you have a girlfriend and you work in a space and every day you have to buy lunch, that does not look good. You ain't got no Tupperware no days.
Could you marry a woman making $250,000 a year?
Yeah, I can marry her.
Really?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I?
You won't feel emasculated in any kind
How?
of way. I think a woman making that much more money than a man, she will emasculate him. I really do.
How?
Because I just think a woman.
I think that depends on the man.
And also it depends on the woman.
What? How can she? I don't see how that could happen.
I think there's a chance that she could belittle him because he makes less money.
So how would we ever end up together if she belittled?
They have sex.
So why? Okay, because they had sex,
And they had
and
sex.
she'd stay with
Most people get married because of sex anyway. People,
Is that the reason?
man, people don't love each other no more.
Hey, okay, that's another thing. We're gonna get to that because I got my own list of reasons. Let's move to the next one. So we did money,
Let's go to
income.
your right. Let's go. Let's go ahead and.
No. We're gonna go to break
We already-
before we come back and do that.
And
So
we're going to go into Mark's list of reasons.
no, you didn't finish yours though.
We already talked about. I want to go into your reasons.
Oh, I got plenty of reasons. One of them was the one you just talked about. Look, ladies, don't fool yourself. You can make $2.5 million a year, and he make $50,000. Still, at some point, you need to carry your butt home and cook and show that you love him. That's all.
Why can't he cook though?
No one said he can't. Where's the can't
Because
coming
you
from?
keep driving to the point that
Why
women
wouldn't she
need to
cook?
go home and cook.
That's a big part of the. That's the personal touch.
So
of the
antiquated.
relationship.
It's so caveman like. That's some old.
Honestly,
you're the reason why they created feminism.
I'm the reason.
Yeah.
I wasn't even alive then, but I'm the sole reason.
You're the reason. That way of thinking is the reason.
They created feminism.
Yes, you want women to stay home, barefoot, pregnant, cook food.
No. They don't have to stay home. At some point, they need to get home and make some food.
Well, they're getting home, but why they gotta make the food?
What they gonna do at home then?
$250,000 that they can cater it.
So every day is gonna be eat out. I don't even like to eat out. You don't cook, do you? Let me look at your hands.
I cook a lot.
What do you cook?
I cook everything.
Tater tots, spaghetti.
I don't even.
Let me guess. Okay, no. Hold on. If you have a guy you're trying to impress, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have him over for dinner. What is your go-to meal?
Seafood. I cook a lot of seafood. I do the shrimp, the scallops, crab legs, crab cakes, crab dip. I love seafood.
You got any vegetables in there?
Absolutely. I don't even own a microwave. I don't even because I don't eat processed.
Because you don't eat at home.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of true. Being single, it is easier to eat a salad on the run sometimes. Because I have a social life, so being in the house cooking all the time doesn't really work for me. I cook more when I'm in a relationship because I like to cook. Mm-hmm. So you're actually talking about who likes to cook, but.
So why are you fighting me on this cooking thing then?
Because I just don't.
Because if you made $250,000, you wouldn't cook nothing.
Probably not.
See that? Hey, look. I think
probably not.
I think this is as good a place as any.
I probably wouldn't cook.
I think this is as good a place as any for us to go to break. And when we come back, I'm gonna run down my list, which is once again, it's my opinion. But when we come back, I'll give you my list as to why I believe there are such a large amount of single black women. And we're back.
Hey guys.
And I'm about to go into my list, and I want to make a disclaimer again. This is not women bashing. However, this is a criticism. So I'm gonna give you my list. This is what I see. Number one, and I think this is huge. A lot of women have a lack of examples to model, meaning mothers, fathers, men and women, and that puts them at a distinct advantage as far as coupling up and getting married. So it's just sometimes you need to see it, and there's some things that are just become instinctive in how to operate between men and women that you won't pick up on unless you've spent a lot of time observing it, whether consciously or subconsciously. Number two, friends. Ladies, run out the raggedy chicks out of your crew. If she's single and has something bad to say about every guy, every time, and she can never seem happy for you, please do the math. And some of y'all know this and will still hang with these people, right? And there's a saying, there's no honor amongst thieves. If she's single, okay, I'm gonna give you a scenario. Group of single women, because I don't know why y'all do this. 5 of y'all will go out and eat. And that's all single women do. Y'all go to eat Friday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. Y'all go to eat, you're at the bar. And if I ever see this, I will not approach you guys because you're the loudest people in the corner laughing at jokes that don't make any sense. And so I don't know if you've seen the movie Two Can Play That Game with Morris Chestnut and Vivica Fox. So Morris Chestnut sees her out and he walks in the middle of that group. And him being Morris Chestnut, he approaches Vivica Fox. And the group had to give their whole okay before she could talk to him, right? But if we were to take that into a real life scenario, everyday scenario, If he was Morris Chestnut's material and he skips over all the other booger wolves in your group to talk to you, how can they be happy for you? Why would they be happy for you?
I don't dispute that at all. I agree with that.
Next,
I don't dispute that.
Mindset. We had an example of it with the $250,000 high-priced lawyer that won't cook. Your mindset is pretty much polluted and toxic. I'm going to take that step back with a generalization as far as not some, but not all, most, whatever. But you know what I'm talking about. And it's fed daily by the media, by songs, by that stupid reality TV that you guys indulge in.
Reality TV.
Next, materialism. Enough said. Competition.
No, go back to materialism.
I mean, okay, let's go back again.
Because men are just as materialistic as women.
No.
It's just that you all do it on a bigger scale.
Okay.
You all do it on a bigger scale. You do it all with your cars and your motorcycles and your, you know what I mean? Women, we're materialistic on a scale of shoes and handbags and getting your hair done. I don't think you can compare it.
Once again, it's not the same thing. But if if a woman, I think that's part of the reason why women don't want to deal with guys who make less than them. So, for example, say let's use a more contemporary example, like a woman makes 80,000, or let's even go to 90,000, and she lives a certain lifestyle, and she gets with a guy who makes 40,000.
That's not bad.
That's not bad, but she doesn't want to sacrifice her lifestyle in dating with him. You know what I'm saying? If they were to come together, which makes no sense to me, you bring both incomes together, you consolidate from from two spaces into one.
But she's not sacrificing her lifestyle. She's actually adding to it because now
in her mind, she is. She might not be able to go get that Michael Kors bag that she used to randomly get.
40,000 additional
well, if you move into a bigger space, that might be more bills as well.
I would date a man who made less money than me.
Okay. Of course, you're going to be the example that goes the other way. Competition. There is a wicked competition that goes on. Ladies, gentlemen, that has nothing to do with us. Gentlemen. And we'll never understand
Women are very competitive. I say it all the time. Women are competitive and don't even realize when they're being competitive.
They don't realize when they're being stupid with it.
What do you mean stupid?
Just sometimes it's ridiculous. You know, they just go over. The only time it's good is when you're the one they're competing over, because you can't lose if you're the guy. You know, God forbid. They're gonna go try to top each other over you, and you reap the benefits. Next, ego, inflated sense of self. I think we kind of touched on it with that lawyer. She's too good to do certain things and to deal with certain people. Again, this is just what I see. Lack of femininity and embracing masculinity. What the hell is that?
What do you mean?
I don't even understand when women say I'm like a dude.
Oh, I agree.
I think like a dude.
I agree.
I do this like a dude. You will not hear a guy say I do this like a woman.
Or the girl who says that I don't have any female girlfriends. I only hang around males.
Yeah.
Oh, you bras kill me.
But why do you? Okay, you can do that, but you can still do that and be effeminate. What's wrong with being effeminate? We must make being men look really good for you to go there. Next, taste in men haven't matured. This I see as a big problem. A lot of women still like the same type of dudes they liked in high school, and they just expect them to have more things now.
I agree.
You expect that same dude, bad boy with a little edge or whatever, to have a corporate job with insurance and 401k or Roth IRA. It doesn't always work out like that.
Let me ask you a question. What type of men are we talking about?
I don't know. I don't date men.
The reason why I asked that question is because being a single woman with no children at my age, it is very, very hard to find a man who does not have children. And I think that's probably has been one of my biggest issues.
Have you tried Craigslist?
Craigslist to find a man? Look at me.
I don't feel like it.
Look at me.
I don't want to.
Like I need to go on Craigslist to find a man? You better stop playing with me, Mark.
Okay. The show has hit that point. Next.
You know what I mean?
Number one. Okay, this is a good example because we just had the example of it. take yourselves too seriously.
I tend to do
Tiana
that.
is too good to go on Craigslist, and she just made me look at her for no reason. So I feel like obviously that was a joke.
I am too. Anybody too good to
Obviously,
go on a
obviously
Craigslist
that
to
was a
find a
joke.
man. You better stop playing.
Obviously that was a joke.
Whatever. Who knows with you, Mark? Don't nobody know if it's a joke or not.
You're right. There's a little truth to that. Next, entitlement. Too many women think just because they're a woman, the sun should shine and set on their ass.
As it should.
Well, I mean, it's nice. It's nice if it should, and I think women deserve the world. But when people act entitled, you tend to not want to give them what they want. That's just the rule of thumb, huh?
Or deserve.
Well, I didn't say you deserve it. Last, attitudes. Attitudes.
I agree with that.
I don't understand it. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna go no more. Please explain it.
The attitude?
Explain the attitudes.
I don't have an attitude problem, so I can't speak for those.
I don't.
Attitudes is the attitude has never kept my attitude has never kept me from getting the man that I want. I am one of those women that knows how to listen to my man, not just a man.
Why the emphasis on mine?
Because I knew because if I didn't say my. Just because in this conversation, just because I may not be listening to you, you will take that as a sign of how I deal with my relationship, which is not true. How I deal with men outside my relationship is not how you don't treat everybody the same. The men that you date and deal with, you don't treat those same men on the street the same way.
No, you don't. But at some point, you are who you are too, right?
But we're smart enough to know the difference between the two. I know when to shut it off and when not to.
I don't know that a lot of them can shut it off. Some of them it's a reflex.
Some women can't. Some women can't.
And I'm not one to give you passes for it, but I kind of realize it's a defense mechanism. But
absolutely, I agree.
To keep a lot of bullshit away. But I mean, how many men are going to be bothered to get through that?
Because a lot of men that are full of shit.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And who wants to deal with a full of shit, ain't shit ass man?
Listen.
That shit makes you
if
mad.
He can't say, but hello?
Ain't shit men make you mad.
But hello?
I mean, what else is the... You can't be happy.
Okay, this term has just recently reached my vernacular. Resting bitch face. Have you heard of that?
I've heard that before, but I can't tell you where I heard that from.
Yeah, but
I heard it on TV.
Why are we rewarding this terrible behavior?
What is resting bitch face?
It's just saying they got a face saying don't mess with me before you approach them. And it's cool, and y'all laugh and kiki about it, and go to Fridays and
I'm gonna be honest with
in a booth and be all loud to each other.
I can't relate to that. My mom.
And then when the bill comes, y'all bring your calculators out because God forbid you give the waitress 30 cents more than she deserves.
Is that the same? Oh, I can't stand people don't tip. Is that the same as when men would say, "Look at a woman like, why you look so mean"? Is that
sometimes that's just a conversation starter, but yeah, I'm sure you get that all the time. Okay, so
I used to.
What happened?
I used to. I used to get that why you look so mean.
And what happened? You stopped going out?
I don't even think it dawned on me. I didn't notice it. Yeah, you know what I mean? I really didn't notice that I was looking mad. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't. It could have been something on my mind. It could be. It may not necessarily. I don't think I'm mean. It's just it could have been anything on my mind. But I used to get that a lot. Why you look so mean? Yeah. Like a lot of black women get that. Why you look so mean?
Ever had the urge to fix it?
Black women are tired.
From what?
Doing everything by themselves. Okay. Being the head of their household.
Hey.
Half y'all either in jail or gay. Y'all cheat all the time.
Well, we gotta make up for the other half.
Which is the other half.
You just said half of them are in jail or gay, right? Mm-hmm. You said they cheat all the time. Mm-hmm. So the people that are really tired are the ones that aren't in jail and gay, the black males. Because we trying to make sure the other half of y'all women are happy.
You trying to take care of all the women.
Anyway, we're gonna go to break, and the end of this show. We're gonna open up the phone lines. Anybody want to call in and say whatever they have to say? I'm sure you guys have a lot for Tiana tonight. The phone number is 301-278-1293. Again, 301-278-1293. And we're back. We're back, and then while we were away, we got a phone call, so I'm gonna patch you through and caller. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah. You have something you'd like to
Great.
say?
Yes, first off, unfortunately, I do have to agree with Mark on the whole the woman needs to cook regardless of how much she makes thing. Because there are just traditional roles in a relationship. If my husband made $250,000 and came home and said, I'm no longer taking out the trash or cutting grass because my paycheck, I would be like, oh, no, you got to kick off, you know? But if she's saying that she doesn't want to cook because of her paycheck, that's one thing. Or if she can't because of her hours at work, those are two different things.
Right.
So if her schedule permits her to come home at 6 o'clock and she's just tired from her day and just want to kick her feet up, that's one thing. And say, oh, I'm kicking my feet up because I made $250,000 today. That's one thing. But if she's coming home at 9 o'clock and her food is not cooked, then we have a major problem.
You know what? I agree with you because there's a million ways around that. I mean, I've seen it several ways in families growing up.
Absolutely.
I've seen mothers cook 3 meals on Sunday. And you have all the leftovers, and then you do another one during the week. So if you're not making the effort, you can't. How much can you really say that you care for this guy?
True.
And I mean, you might be kind of taking him for granted. I mean, at some point, I saw something today on Facebook saying like that's a way to build him up. Because I would think most men would feel some kind of way about that large disparity as far as what she makes. So if you're saying you still appreciate and you still like to have him here, and it's the small things, because how much can he do? I'm sure he doesn't. I'm sure he's trying to do a lot because at some point either he's gonna do. I don't think there's an in between with that. Either he's doing a whole lot trying to make up for the.
So he's gonna overcompensate for making less money than her.
I'm pretty sure he's doing a whole lot around there because he's gonna feel like I would think, or he's doing nothing. I don't think it's in between though. Anyway.
All right, guys.
Anyway, thanks for calling in.
That was my 2 cents. Thank you, guys.
All righty.
Bye.
There's some other things I wanted to touch on, but we're not gonna have time. And honestly, we could do this topic or this show every day of the week, and we'll never get any answers. And the bottom line that I've come to, and this is my opinion, this is not men's opinion, I believe that a lot of women have a lot of reasons as for why they're single. And most of them are external factors, which they can do nothing about. But most of the ones that I listed are things they can do something about. And I think a lot of them know that, but they're just too stubborn to make the change. So.
And none of that has anything to do with men not stepping up. None of that has anything to do with.
The show was about why so many women are single.
You're right.
Okay. You wanna have if you wanna have a men not stepping up show, all you have to do.
We need to have that show.
Yes, let people know, and I will not be here that week.
Why not?
Because I don't want to do. Nah, go ahead. We'll do the.
There's a lot of men out here.
But for any woman that's single, and you feel despair, you feel that angst that you might never get married, I will offer you hope. The hope is coming. All right? Don't feel that all is lost. It may not happen in your time frame. But there's one thing that's for sure. It's two things that's saving you. Every man, I don't care who he is, at some point gets tired of running around. It may be at 60 or whatever. So, but he will settle down and want to have someone to call their own. So you may get that wedding. You might not be in the shape you once were. But you can still wear that white dress and walk down the beach or the aisle or whatever. Also,
I don't want to marry no old ass man.
Also, well, you ain't got no choice right now. If you're not willing to go to Craigslist, you're gonna marry.
Old men get you worms.
Don't you work at an old folks home?
Any country people out there? Okay. I heard that right.
All right. So listen, and also the other saving grace that you have is most men want to marry women
younger than them
that are like their mothers. In past, that was a problem because women don't like to live up to that. But nowadays, a lot of mothers are trifling. So you guys have hope because they're just as trifling as your asses. So on that note, we want to thank you guys for watching the very first episode of He Say, She Say.
Terrible.
This is your man, Mark, signing out.
And this is Tiana. Thank you for listening, and we will see you around this time, 8 o'clock next week on Thursday, 8 o'clock next week.
WTTSradio.com.